show you quickly how the text input works and the messaging system. Right now we're in the text message section of the phone. We're going to create a new message. You can also create multimedia messages in the same location. You can see in general there are 2 letters per keys, and that a regular QWERTY layout is used. So it's like your normal keyboard, it just doesn't have a dedicated key per letter. Move here and we'll do some text input. Right now T9 is enabled, so that I only have to press 1 button per letter rather. So I can go Michael, M-I-C-H-A-E-L, was here. And one of the neat things is if you just long press a button, you get the top special function. So in this case I'll get the period just by long pressing this key here. Michael was here. Speed's pretty good in general. I don't think anybody will have too much in terms of complaints. The hybrid 20-key keypad takes a little while to get used to, but it works pretty well. And when you need to do something like a password, something different, you can change the predictive text mode. I did that by pressing this button and holding it down for a second. You can see it's labeled T9 there. That brings up this menu, at which point I can disable predictive text. And now, so you can see if I press the GH button once, I get a G. If I press it twice, it puts up an H. So that way you can put in tricky passwords and other things like that that the dictionary might not know for T9. You can use the keypad to look up numbers and names for recipients. We're going to look up Doe. Type D-O-E. Select the Doe. And you can see John Doe comes up. And just hit send, and off the message goes. And since this is a Windows Mobile 6.1 device, it supports threaded messaging, so if we just quickly press the shortcut key to bring up messaging, and you look at this message that we sent to John Doe, we can send a follow-up message and it'll show right inside here as if it were an instant message. Here is another send that through and you'll see it pop up right below. And if John Doe were to respond, his message would show up right in here, all nice and threaded. We'll pull up the web browser from this panel here. Move down, hit favorites. You can see the list of pre-configured favorites. We added Mobile Burn here, so you can see how this comes up. Now again, this is coming up pretty quickly because it's on a Wi-Fi connection. Everything looks good for a mobile browser, but this is still Pocket IE, so it's not going to handle really complex pages very well at all. It's a story I put up the other day about the Verizon Hub. See, the scroll wheel makes it quite easy to navigate through the entire story. Quite readable. So it works pretty well for mobile formatted sites like this, but it's not going to do well with a regular mobileburn.com site, which are just far too complex for Pocket IE to handle at this point. You can see that the new Shadow also supports MyPhase for T-Mobile. And the calendar appointments are quite nice to move through. You use the D-pad to go back and forth. You can see today's my birthday, actually. Not going to tell you how old, though. So that's a quick look at the T-Mobile Shadow for 2009. Slick looking Windows Mobile 6.1 Standard Edition device. Nice form factor. Pretty usable 20-key hybrid QWERTY layout keypad. Scrolling D-pad, pretty good for a Windows Mobile device, and we definitely are pleased to see the UMA support in Windows Mobile. So far, it's worked really well for us on this device, but we still have to do a little bit more testing before we can say anything definitively. But overall, we really like what we see so far. So that's the T-Mobile Shadow 2009. I'm Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com.